Hello everyone, it's Connie. I'm adjusting my camera, sorry. Trying to make everything straight so I'm not losing my mind thinking everything's crooked the whole time. And I'm turning on my comments. Okay, I'm up and rolling. Oh my gosh, this week has been so busy. One of the things that I did is I went to Daisy Lane with Noelle, and I usually look for some stamps and things that are kind of unusual. These are all secondhand products that they have, people sell like on consignment or whatever. And so I'm always looking for something kind of unique and different. So I thought I'd show you my haul for this week before I show you my project. The first thing I found was this zipper icons set I got for $5. And basically it's Jillian Vance designs and it's a zipper with zipper pulls, but I really love the messages. Open here, tear me, open at your own risk, just rip it, for your eyes only, top secret, pull here, surprise, surprise. These kinds of things will go really great with my other zipper set. I also have a die that is like a pull strip that these messages will go really well with. So I'm kind of excited to find something super unique. I've never seen it before, and it'll go really well with something I already own. Really good. And then Noelle found this one, and I'm a big Halloween freak, and so she's like, oh, you gotta get this. So this is by Jaded Blossom. I've never heard of Jaded Blossoms before, or Jaded Blossom, but this stamp set is super fun. Look at the cat and the Frankenstein. Coffee good. Need coffee. Oh my gosh, she's like, this is two of your favorite things. You have to get it. Let's be frank. Coffee's the best. I love this set. It's so cute. I can't wait to make a few Halloween cards with it. Just thought I'd show it. This one, I've never heard of this brand ever before. Heffy Doodle. Anybody ever heard of that? This is called Hello Squeak Heart. And it is a little mouse / hamster set. Look, it's never even been out of the package. So the cheese, the mice, the little wheel. Oh my gosh, super cute. But what's best is the messages. Have a really great day. Hope you feel cheddar soon. Oh, rats, I forgot your big day. You're such a Gouda friend. Not feeling so Gouda. Anyway, these are really, really cute. I can't wait to use them. And it was for $10 for the stamps and dies. What a deal. The last thing wasn't from Daisy Lane. It was just something I purchased. And it is from Diamond Press. It was part of their new releases. And it is their s'mores. S'more-tastic. And what I like about Diamond Press is they come with an instruction sheet that has how all their pieces work together, so that if you see, an image and you're like, what is that supposed to be? It'll show you. I looked at that and went, why is there a flower? Why is there a flower in that set? But actually what it is the top of the hat. So I just thought it could be a flower. I don't know. But anyway, I love this set. It might be really hard to see on camera, but maybe if I throw a piece of paper under it, it'll be easier. I don't know if that's easier, but basically it's got these really adorable little s'mores. Look at that. I'm dying. Sending s'more good vibes your way. Sorry to hear life is a hot, sticky mess right now. Oh my gosh. The world needs s'more people like you. And you're s'more-tastic. Life can be messy. Oh my gosh. And here's the other side with, look at the Hershey bar with the chocolate bar. Life is sure more fun with friends like you. Laughs more, worry less. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to have some fun with this. Anyway, this was my big purchase for the month. I don't remember how much it was. I think I bought it on HSN through Diamond Press, but you can buy things like that through Diamond Press direct. All right, I'm gonna throw this out of the way so I need my table today because I'm scrapbooking. But I'm gonna show you this kit because I'm using this kit to make a scrapbook page. This is the Beautiful Blues kit. And it makes 9 cards. It has 9 envelopes. It is, I'm going to hold this up here in case you want to look at the number or anything. 165658. Boy, my eyes. Yeesh. I cross stitch a lot, and I've been using a magnifier for the fabric I'm working on, and now my eyes are like wonky. Anyway, so here are the cards that it makes. There's 3 of each. And I changed up the message a little bit to suit me a little better, or what I need it for. This is gorgeous. I'm telling you, this could be a wedding card. This could be thank you. It could be sympathy. Birthday. I mean, this is a generic, what I call a generic card. You can make it anything you want. And then this one has this like kind of mottled blue background, and then it has an overlay piece that goes on it, and then there's punch outs. And it came with a stamp set. Easier to show you this, I think. Okay, there we go. Show it to you in English would be ideal. Wishing you comfort, you're in my thoughts, sending love. And then there's this leaf, which is a pretty good size. I might be using that a little bit today. So this is really great. It comes with a Stampin' Spot of Night of Navy. It comes with some dimensionals and these little blue dots. It also comes with tear tape, really thin tear tape because of that overlay, and a stamp block. And then it has little punch outs that you pop out to use, and some little pop outs to put your messages on. And I've already pulled out the parts I'm going to use and cut them down. So I have this much of this kit left. Look how gorgeous that is. You know, this is the thing about a lot of the Stampin' Up! Kits is that they're often printed on the front and back of the card. And so if you cut it in half, you can double up your card and make more. So even though it says it makes 9, I'm going to get those 3 cards, a scrapbook page, plus more, right? And look at the envelopes. Aren't they pretty? They're just, that's really beautiful. Anyway, so I'm going to give this away to somebody this month, the rest of the kit, because it's awesome. I love it. But I think I have enough of it left, and it's gonna be used. Of course, I'm gonna use some of it, but I'll keep the cards that I made, and I'll use those, and then the rest of it I'll probably give away. So if you make a comment here on Facebook, you'll be in the running for it. Well, hi Christy, how are ya? Oh my gosh. Nice to see you here. So here's the other thing. I thought, you know, that kit looks so great with the blue and white, but I wanted to add some, another color to it for a scrapbook page. And so I grabbed this set. Now this paper is called Peaceful Days. Peaceful Days? Peaceful Garden. I do not know why they name all their parts and pieces something different. The paper is Peaceful Garden. This sticker sheet is Peaceful Days. And then the Peaceful Garden glitter papers. I just want to show them to you because this is what I am going to use today. So this is the sticker sheet, and I'm not using this today, but I just wanted to show you, you can get this if you love it. And you can also get the whole scrapbooking workshop kit that includes that sticker sheet. And the glitter sheets come in a pack of 6, one of each color. I don't know how well you can see those colors, but it's like, I'll hold them up to the paper in just a second and you'll be like, oh yeah, that's good. The papers, I think I've shown before. There's a lot of doves on this, but the back side of the doves is something totally usable. So if you're not into the doves, you just don't use that side. Look at that. It's more of a, it's cloud cover, which has kind of got a little gray, green, blue hint to it. I put it in my, it's really hard to know where to put that color in my rainbow because it's really kind of a blue, but it's got a green. It's like, what color is that? But it's really awesome. And it kind of depends on the hue of it. This paper is absolutely gorgeous. And I decided to add some of this to that kit to use. I love this one, absolutely. It's like the secret sea color. So there's like Night of Navy, Secret Sea. There's some, this is like basic beige, but it's like a mottled. It'd be great for a background piece. Anyway, gorgeous. This piece kind of threw me off at first because it's just so bold and so in your face and, you know, so overwhelming. And at the same time, the back of it is this cool star, which is totally something I will use. So I'm kind of like, it's, you know, don't get thrown off by one pattern in the pack. There are 2 sides to every sheet and you just never know. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that. And then I want to show you real quick, you can see the Secret Sea colored glitter. And then I don't know what color this is. Let me look. It'll tell me on the back, or it usually does. I have it in my blue, dark gray, soft green. That's all it says. It's basically Secret Sea. I'm not sure what color that is. Not sure. Azure Afternoon, maybe. And then this one is a really, really neat kind of a seafoam type soft green. And look how great it looks with this kind of color. It's gonna look great with these. So anyway, I just wanted to show you this paper pack. I'm kind of using it with my kit because it's gorgeous. And I thought about adding some of the stickers to it, but I got other plans for using that paper and stickers. And so, oof, hold on, I'm lifting all my parts and pieces, trying not to drop anything on the floor. So basically I have a left and a right side, and I decided I really should start with the left side first because it's a little more involved. And so let me just sort I had it kind of laid out so I wouldn't forget where everything goes. Here's my problem is that I plan what I'm gonna do online kind of far in advance. And sometimes I'll have my project on my project cart for quite a while before I actually make it. And then I start forgetting, what was my plan with this? And so That's where I'm at. That's kind of crazy. Okay, so here's what I did. I took Night of Navy and I gutted it because I wanted to use it, the center of this, for my photo mats. Hi, Noelle. Hi. Oh gosh. Okay, and then this piece right here, you may recall, came out of that Textures paper pack, and I've just been sort of randomly picking this up like it's a wood grain because it has that same tone. Like there are some gray tones and some warm tones in these textures, and they really do work really nicely with a lot of my layouts. And so I'm on my second pack of that paper. I can't believe I'm saying that, because when I bought it the first time, I was kind of like, I don't know. But look at that. It's like burlap. Cloth canvas? I don't know. Anyway, I like it. And then we have this woven print, and it's not going to show very much, okay? It's barely actually going to show. And I'm just centering it in the middle like that. So there we go. And then I have, let me just dump this piece out. I kind of played around with those a little bit to try to figure out what order I wanted these in, you know. This is my white cardstock that I'm going to have here. So you can see that border is barely going to show on here, but that's okay. I'm going to zoom in just a little more. Okay, so the first thing I want to do though on this page is I want to stamp, since there's a little bump here, if I attach this and then try to stamp here, it may not stamp as even. It's easy to cover it up, but I need to do a little bit of something. I'm going to have, I punched this out of the card kit, and I'm going to have this up here in the corner. And I liked the idea of having these leaves kind of in here. And I like the idea of adding this crumb cake color with the blue and white. That blue and white is lovely. Anyway, I just really like how that looks. And so anyway, so today I have been trying to go through my stuff in my house and purge a little bit. I'll tell you what, that is hard. I feel like I'm sentimentally attached to my stuff. And why is that? Like, who does that? I am normally nowhere near sentimentally attached to things, but I have been lately. And so it's been difficult. It's been really difficult to purge some of my older stuff, but I'm starting to work on that a little bit. I feel like I have hidden nooks and crannies all over the house of things that I haven't used in many years. And it was like, it's time to get rid of some of this. And if something happened to me or whatever, I would not want my husband and my daughter to have to go through all my junk that I have sitting around that I've been saving for so many years for no reason. Okay, so I have done this kind of layout before. I'm using the linen thread, which is just so pretty, and it coordinates nicely with the crumb cake paper. And I know this is fussy. You guys are going to be like, you did what? I took like 3 pieces of it and I braided it loosely, and it won't even really show, but I tried to just do 3 pieces of it and lay it out. And I gotta tell you, that was not fun. It was like fiddly, and it had kind of a curl to it, and it was driving me nuts. And so, yeah, I'm just gonna kind of put some glue across there, and it doesn't even matter if it's perfect or anything. So I'm gonna put that. I'm making like a clothesline, right? Like that. And then once this is all kind of glued down and stuck, I can trim it. It'll be good. So yeah, you know, the whole purging thing, there's something about when I got my fall stuff out, I realized I had all these dusty corners and things everywhere that I was ready to get rid of some stuff. All right, so do I want to keep that knot on there? I don't know yet. I'm going to leave it there for now. Okay, so I got out all of those papers that I think are absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to scooch this over and bring this on camera. And I cut them to varying lengths. Some of them are like 5 inches, some of them are less, some more. I want to make them into flags, banners. This is part of that card kit, is just, you know, one of those cards, and it's so pretty. Look at that. And so I'm just going to kind of lay these out. Now, some of these are the same size or pretty close, like this, a couple of inches, I think 2 inches. And so I can layer them together when I cut those triangles so that it goes a little faster. And so they're even. And so I'm just going to kind of lay these out. This is also one of those cards. And I just think I can use those. I'm just going to layer those together and go ahead and flag the ends. And some of these I can go under, some of them I could go over. I don't know where I'm gonna put everything yet, but, and then I have this is the card base for that one that has that blue overlay, and the blue on it is so different from the other blue anywhere else in the kit. So I don't want that to be up in my face. I'm gonna put that one on the bottom, and it's just gonna peek. I think that is gonna help to not have it so bold in my face. So I'm gonna create sort of a base and try to decide where I want things. I kind of like the idea of kind of a pattern, a neutral pattern, neutral pattern, neutral, kind of like that. We'll see. We'll see. I kind of like that. Okay, so my plan is to go ahead and glue these down and make them go across this line. Now, if they feel too long, and they are a little long, I'm just gonna chop the tops off a little bit, and I'm only gonna glue the top part like that. And I like them varying, and I use a lot of, I do use a lot of liquid glue, but honestly, you could use your tape runner. And I think, trying to look and see where I want things here. Boy, that's gorgeous. I think I want this one trimmed a little. Maybe not quite so long. The thing about these is that it's super easy to do things with all of the little pieces and parts, so it's very tempting for me to keep them all. And so I have this little stash of pieces and parts just in case I need to grab from it later. But the truth is, this is one of those things where you can get carried away, and I'll be getting rid of those. I can't just keep everything always. That's the other thing. Being in purge mode, I'm kind of ready to get rid of some of my stash of scraps. I've been going through my scraps. Just got to get rid of some things. So I love all these flagged pieces hanging down just like this. The plan will be to have 2 photo mats like here and here, right? But I have a whole lot of little pieces like this that I can add. I think I'm going to do this one a little shorter. And yeah, I like that. I just don't want them hanging off the edge of the page over here. So, okay, so I have all these little parts and pieces that are small over here, and I like the idea of adding a few little pieces here and there. Just smaller flags. They may be covered up to some degree. You know what? Maybe I'll do my photo mats before I put these on. That way I'll be ready. I can put them on where I know that they'll look good. You know, the hard part for me about purging stuff is in my craft room, you know, I have a tendency to have trouble getting rid of some things. And it took me a long time to realize that there is a difference between using stuff, buying stuff, and hoarding stuff. I mean, like, there is definitely, it's a different craft. It's, you know, it's like, ooh, buying it is a hobby on its own, and keeping it and looking through it and all of that makes me so happy, that's totally a hobby on its own. It took me a while to figure that out. All right, I really love how this looks, and I was gonna have them hang from the line, but I'm gonna have them up a little higher. I like the idea of leaving a little space up here for a title, and I want to put this here, so I don't want to entirely smash these down. I probably should foam tape the back of these. Let me just grab my foam sheets. One of the things that is awesome, and sometimes I use fun foam, and sometimes I just use these like foam sheets. You know, Stampin' Up has foam sheets that are double-sided sticky, and they're acid free, which is really great. And when you have a big surface to cover, and especially when you are trying not to take all day long, it's kind of nice to have foam pieces that cover your whole back, because it gives it some sturdiness. Definitely sturdy now. And also it kind of keeps me from spending all day on here covering everything in foam tape. Fun foam works, but you have to look for the acid-free. Most fun foam is acid-free. I looked into it at one point because somebody asked me, and I was like, you know, I don't pay that much attention anymore to the acid-free, because photos are so easy to recover, you know, to redo. You can totally get your pictures remade like on a whim now, where the old pictures used to be like a one and done and special and unique. And oh my gosh, if you used something, oh, that was totally crooked. Now that's the problem with foam foam. That's okay. The acid freeness of a lot of products, sometimes I'll look into it and I'll use it anyway. But fun foam, everything I've looked at shows that it is. I think I want a little bit of this blue on the back of here. I'm just gonna pull that off and add that so it pokes out. I like that. I have no idea if I had planned on doing that the first time or not, but here I am. And I'm just gonna dot some glue on here. Looks like a hot mess on the back now. All right. Yeah, I like how that looks, and I like how the leaves look, kind of poking out. Nice. Okay, now I have these pieces that I really want to use. I'm gonna dovetail the ends of a few and just lay them out. You can kind of see things getting covered a little bit. What I like about, there's something about, you know, blue and white, right? It is such a neutral, and then I basically added crumb cake to it, which is another neutral, and I really like how it looks. So now to the center, I want to make sure that my photos will fit, but I do want some of this to cross over just a little. So try to decide what pieces I want. This is how I use up all my scraps. It's why I have so many, because when you cut them all down and cut them all down, and next thing you know, you've just got so much. I like the idea of adding this brown. I think I might add that to there. I think I might add this one over here. So I basically have a couple here, 3 there, a couple there. One side of the paper, you know, remember there's 2 sides. All right, that's awesome. I think that's awesome. Okay, so I'm just going That way, I don't know if you heard the phone ring, but anyway, I won't be live Friday morning like I normally am because I have appointments and things to do that day, whatever, in the morning, but I will go live in the afternoon at some point because I have some amazing cards to make, which I'm really excited about. All right, I like those flags. I'm just gonna put glue on these. I debated on using that kind of cloud cover green color, and I decided not to because it felt like it just added more to the whole thing that I just didn't really need. Now, right there in the middle of these to this crooked thing right here, there's a gap, and so I want to add just a sliver of foam tape in the middle so that it's level. You won't be able to see it, but I kind of want it in here so that my flags don't fall under. So I'm just gonna put a little piece of foam there and then put these on. Now, the problem is I really don't want this on my photo, and I need to be able to tuck my photo. So I am not putting adhesive under that flag, and I am not going to put adhesive under this side flag. I'm just going to barely put a little bit of glue along this side right here. And then this will go here. All right. And then I'm just gonna like kind of curl these up just a smidge. I could have done that while I had them, you know, off before I put them on. Curled these up a little bit, but just a little bit. I'm just gonna rough them up just a little. It's kind of like one, yeah, it'll go in a book. Will it be noticeable? Maybe, maybe not. But once paper has a fold to it, you know, it has kind of a memory, and it doesn't tend to get totally squished back down completely. This, I made a couple of bows using that linen thread. And I decided to put a bow here and a bow here. And I will cut the tails off after everything is dry, because that way I can see how it looks. All right, let me get rid of my garbage here. All right, so there is my left-hand page. Really love how this looks. And like I said, I know this isn't a 4x4 placeholder, but I just want to show you my photo will go underneath that flag. And if I feel like it needs more adhesive after that, I can just put it down, you know? Same way over here. This one has no adhesive under that edge, and my photo will slide under right there. So that's my plan for the photos, and there is the left-hand page. Okay, let me pull in the right. So on the right, I wanted it more simple. And so I'm going to go ahead and attach this white to the base. This, when I gut paper, I tend to only leave an inch of of edge, but I wanted an inch to show. So I made this 10 by 10, and I really, so I left like, I made it like 1.5 inches. Have a little extra adhesive there. Anywhere you have extra adhesive, this kind of adhesive just rolls off, which is great. So, and sometimes I'll use my rub and remove eraser. I don't know if you guys have one, but they're amazing for removing adhesive. You just kind of run it across the area where there's extra glue and it takes it off. It's a miracle. Now, on this page, because I have some of that, hold on a minute, there. Because I have some of this kind of, I'm going to call it wicker. It's not really wicker, but I really wanted some of it on this page also. And so I made it 10 inches across to put it down here at the bottom. Oh, the mail lady. Okay, Moose. Hold on, guys. Enough. That's all. Thank you. Crazy dog. I don't know why he barks at her like that, because he loves her. I mean, he really does. He loves her. He can't wait to see her. Okay, so I made a couple more photo mats, and these are, you know, like 4x4. These photos would be a little smaller. I tend to want a full-size photo whenever I can. And so sometimes I'll just leave something more or less blank, but I felt like this needed an anchor, and I needed to pull in more of that crumb cake color. And I love this pattern. This is the doves from that piece. I'm not a big dove person. Now I can see where the Christmas cards on that will look amazing, but for scrapbooking, I was like, I don't need a bunch of doves on there. But I do like how this looks. And so that is where I am starting with that. I'm gonna put this down. And I'm trying to make it even. I gotta tell you guys, I know it's crooked, but when my arms are out in front of me, like under a camera, I cannot be straight. It is so hard to be straight. So let me try this again. I'm gonna turn this upside down so that I can look a little closer to me, because I'm actually really a little anal retentive about wanting things to be straighter. And then I want these here. I'm not gonna tack those down quite yet because I'm trying to decide what I want to do. Now, this is a card base. If you look at it, there is a score on the back. And I just chopped it so that I could use this pattern on my page. And then I used that linen twine again. And I just put it around the back, and I put my ugly washi over it. And I also put a little dot of glue over the bow. There's no way that's coming loose unless I really rip it off. And so I want this down here. Now I could put it under here, or I can just cut it off where I think it will look the best. And so I kind of left it whole, thinking I could chop it wherever. And I actually think right across that score is gonna work perfect. And I'll just make it look like it's tucked under there, but it won't be tucked, just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and attach that. Now, whenever I use my washi tape to hold ribbon or something down, I always put adhesive over it because washi tape, it just doesn't, it's not going to stand the test of time. We're just going to say that. It's not going to hold forever. And I have some old tape runner. You remember when we used to use the older tape runner on our scrapbooks? And a lot of that has started drying out and coming loose. And so I'm really careful about, what I use and stuff. All right. The other piece that I cut, this is also Dove paper, but I love this pattern right here. It's so pretty. And I cut it to fit, and it's a weird size, okay? It is 4 by 5.5. Normally, I would just really want a 4 by 6 photo right there. And I could just leave that this way, and it might a 4 by 6 might have to overlap the edge or something, or overlap my decoration. But I decided when I do this page, we can just cut this down because it just looks too good to make it kind of geometric. After the other page is so wild, it's really, it's a lot busier. And so I'm going to go ahead and put that down. And I'm going to make it even with the bottom here, the side here. Try to make it straight. Got my head in the way. It's a little crooked. I'm telling you, I'm having issues with crookedness this week. I don't know why. It's probably all of the anesthesia and stuff that I had. I never usually have problems with being crooked on stuff, but I do right now. All right, there's that. Okay, there is this page. I really love how it looks. Now, let me bring in left and right, side by side. Let's see if I can get those all in camera. So I really love how this looks, and this side looks a little plain, right? It's just a little plain. I like how there's the flags. There's the flags on this side, and there's none on this side, but I think I can add just a few things to stand this out a little bit. And I think one of the things is adding that glitter over here will help. And so I'm just going to cut this. I think I'm going to cut this roughly in half. I did pretty good there. That's pretty close. All right, let me just trim that like that. And I think if I either want to put it on the sides or on the top, just to have a little bit of shimmer that shows. I could move these over and then do flags over here. I think that's the winner. And so let me just make a few more. I can do that one. Whenever, sorry, I'm cutting that off camera because of all the scrap that I have everywhere. So much garbage and stuff, right? I have this little, stash of scraps, and I clamped it together because I thought I might need it on this page, and I'm right. All right, so I already have a lot of tan over here, so I don't want those pieces. Let me just set those down. But I really do love this. This is a good one. So I'll do this one. I hope that you guys like this page. The workshop that is part of this kit is so pretty. It is really, really beautiful. And I could totally see, I went ahead and bought it because I knew I would want to make it and, you know, not change it really, because I like how it looks. There's no reason to change it up. But on the other hand, I knew I would want to do my own thing. So here I am with a paper pack, and I've got a couple of paper packs. I've got the scrapbook workshop. I have all of the, you know, all of the things. Let me see. I think that piece that I tore off will be good. Anyway, so you're gonna see me making things with this. All right, back on camera just a little. Sorry, I realized I need to zoom out just a little. All right, let's get this right page kind of settled down a little bit. See, I'm gonna use this and see if I can put it in straight without having to tear it off and tear my paper and all the crazy stuff. And I'm gonna move this over to the right. I'm making it close to the top. And you'll see I left no adhesive here so that I could tuck. And I may not have left enough, but we'll see. I can always trim these off, right? I mean, that's sort of the gist of things. If it's not enough under there, this time I'll curl a little before I glue. So let's tuck that under, curl a little, glue. I did kind of a birthday page, kind of like this. Gosh, in the summer, spring, I've lost track, but where I did these little flags all the way down the side, and you know, it looks like it takes forever, but the truth is it's very fast, especially when you have so many, you have so many scraps and things to use up. It goes fast. Faster than you think. All right. Okay. And then this also leaves me a little room for some embellishing. Yeah, look at that. I really like that page. What do you think about that? Christy says it's gorgeous. Thank you. Thank you. The paper, that is, you know, because there is so much in this release that just came out in September, it is super duper easy to overlook some of the things that are in there that are really cool. I mean, it's really easy to land on the pieces that are like, wow, right? Like the products that catch your eye, that you love immediately, and totally overlook the things that are a little bit sleepers. I think this one might be a little bit of a sleeper. And I'm not sure how many demonstrators are showing this now, because we got it a little bit early as a part of a like an event. They released it kind of early to demonstrators so that we could use it and show ideas. So if you look online, there may be a lot of ideas, but they may be from, like, you know, a month ago or something. Anyway, woo, that is gorgeous. Now, as far as journaling goes, here's what I do. I rarely take gobs of photos of any event anymore. And sometimes I have 6x6s, and on a page like this, where there's not really room for 6x6, sometimes I will take my 6x6 photo and I will put it across the center here like this, and then I'll journal here. Or sometimes I will add another little piece or something, you know, and then a little bit of journaling. So these little pieces like this that seem like extra, sometimes I'll hang on to them a little bit, because when I put my photos in, sometimes I need them. So look at that. Look how pretty that is. Like if I cut that off right there, and then I can put my 6x6 photo here. So that's an idea. Sometimes I'll do it across here. I would cut this down just a little bit and put it here and do the same kind of thing where you have like just a little pattern right there. So don't let the smaller squares freak you out. You know, make this what you want it to be, and adjust it. If you have a 4x6 that you do not want to cut down, so cover it up. Who cares? The most important thing is your photo. And if your design or whatever gets covered up a little bit, it's not the end of the world, because you're really trying to highlight your photos and your story. And sometimes I'll use one of these squares as a journaling box and just put the photos on the others, right? So just something to think about. And you can always use like your die cuts or something like this to create a little journaling box to go on top. You know, like you could tuck it under if I hadn't glued it down. You could put it here and journal. Or even using journaling strips where you write on strips of paper and then put those across the bottom, like put your journaling on a strip and then layer them like this, where you have like multiple levels of journaling. So that's an idea too. And so this is a little different from my normal layouts because I don't have an actual 4x6 spot. These are like 4x4. These are just under that, like 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. I mean, these would be cut down. And this one I told you is like, this one is 4 by 5.5, which means you'd be cutting off some of your photo. And if you want that paper to show, you would definitely have to cut off some more of your photo and make it maybe a 3.5 by 5. I hope you really love this. Friday, I have some really fun cards to show. I'm considering doing a stash buster this weekend, depending on how things go with my time. And I just need to make some Christmas cards because I realize I do not have a bunch of Christmas cards right now. I usually have a pretty good pile going by now, and I only have a handful made so far, and so I would really like to get that rolling. I hope you love this. Let me know what you think in the comments, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.